Okay, so it is 9:06 and it is time to start the meeting for the Ghana team. I see at this time only Kofi Ajay here in the webinar room, and it seems like Sintim just joined. Sintim, can you hear me? I hope my sound is working. Hello, hello? Sintim, your microphone is muted and your camera is off, but I hope you can hear me and see me. Anyway, so let's start the meeting, and I'm not sure why everybody else is missing. So we have 8 people registered for the meeting, and only 3 or 2 of you plus me are here. But anyway, here is what I wanted to talk about. I wanted to do quick introductions, and once more people join in, hopefully we will have a minute to introduce each other. It's a rare opportunity where we sort of see each other, so I'd like to use that opportunity to kind of connect faces to names and have a chance to hear a little bit more about who is who, background, interest, and stuff like that. I've met Sintim before. He attended a few meetings, but not other people. Then I wanted to exchange information on where we are now, so the update on our progress. So I wanted to give you a little bit more information on what we've been doing here at the central office, what are the latest developments, and what we're working on now. And then hear a little bit from you. So have you started working on promoting Xculture? Do you have any suggestions for how it can be done better? Any suggestions for the program design, perhaps, maybe some suggestions for how we can do the marketing better. So any other observations, questions, concerns. Then the biggest question obviously we have is that we have such a big team from Ghana. We need to decide how we're going to manage it. So many people from Ghana applied. We had a total of, if I remember correctly, 30, 40 applications. And so eventually we selected a few of you whose applications were excellent. And the few of you whom I met are excellent. But then again, there are some members of the team from whom I haven't heard much yet. I'm not sure, it's probably because of the holidays, or I don't know, maybe people were just a little slow to start. So, but I wanted to discuss with you what's the best way to manage it as a team going forward. Can we divide the area by the country by areas, and each of you will be responsible for one area? Will you work as a group, as a team? Or should we proceed some other way? Obviously, at this time, even though we haven't had any or many sign-ups, and so there is really nothing to sort of divide, but hopefully once the holidays are over and we kind of get into the high gear, hopefully there will be many results coming from Ghana, and we need to decide how we're going to manage them in terms of the aftermarket commissions and your compensations. So it may not be very easy to identify right away the person who signs up. And so I just wanted to hear your thoughts on that point. So if you hear me, I see here Sintim and Kofi. If you guys want to take a second and introduce yourself. So I'm not sure if you've met face-to-face before, but for myself, I'm kind of curious to learn a little bit more about you guys. So would you say a few words? Anyone? Who goes first? Sintim, Kofi, can you hear me? Sintim, if you hear me, you cannot hear me? So no sound? Let me check again. My microphone shows that it's working. Huh. That's strange. So you cannot hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you now.
Oh, and I can hear you now. Wonderful. Well, which one was that? Was it Sintim or was it Kofi? Would you introduce yourself?
This is Kofi.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead. Say a few words. Who are you? First time I see your face, so I would like to know more about you. I think we lost you again.
Sorry?
Yeah, can you repeat it, because the sound disappeared for a second.
Yeah, I said my name is Emmanuel Kofi Ajay.
Kofi Ajay, okay.
Yes, I'm based in Kumasi. And it appears majority of us are also based in Kumasi.
Right, yes.
Yeah.
So are you still a student or have you graduated? What's your other occupation at this time?
Yeah, currently I've graduated from my MBA and currently working with KNUST as an administrator. And basically, For 8 hours, I work for 8 hours with KNUST.
Busy.
And yeah.
All right. Okay. Well. Thank you. Well, I can imagine that it's busy, and hard to combine multiple jobs. So yeah. But thank you so much for trying. So thank you. Centime, would you introduce yourself too? Do you have the connection? I think your picture has frozen, so I'm not sure if you're hearing us or if your connection has been lost. All right. Well, since Centime is not available, so Kofi Ajay, right? How should I call you? Kofi Ajay, or what's the proper way to call you?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, can you?
Yeah, Kofi is okay for me.
Kofi. Okay. Good. Got it. So would you maybe tell me a little bit more about, if you have had any chance to do something so far related to Xculture, what has been the experience? If there have been things that maybe slow you down or maybe things that you're waiting for from me. So let me know anything I can help and make your work easier. So tell me how it's been so far.
Okay, so before.
Go ahead, please.
Yeah, before the Xmas break,
yes,
we had some interactions with some of the students and some of the teachers too. And since the concept was new, they're trying to vibe into it. But then I think because of the break, the things have slowed down a bit.
Yes.
And just after the break, we are going to push in the idea, and I think they showed a lot of interest during our interaction, and I believe we will yield much better results when school resumes.
Yes, it is the same story everywhere. Yes, many other people in the regions went and talked to the schools before the break, but everybody was in that kind of holiday mentality already, so holiday mood. So everybody said it's very interesting. Let's talk after the break and then see what we can do. So that is totally understood. Centime is still not here. I guess what I will say then, so what I am working on at this time is I'm trying to prepare a package that you can take with you when you talk to someone about Xculture. And so in that package, what I'm trying to put, so we already have the web page, and so that's something that you can just send the link to, and it talks about Xculture Academy. We already have 3 different explanation videos. So there is one for teachers, there is one for parents and students, so basically school students and their parents, and then there is one separate one for professionals. So people who may be adults who already are not students but may still want to participate as essential independent participants. And then we also have pamphlets that can be printed on paper. And then one of the problems we ran into is that the pamphlets that we printed, they're designed to be kind of distributed like this, kind of folded in 3 and distributed like that. It looks very good when it's on paper, but the problem we ran into is that when you try to read it on the computer screen, it becomes a little confusing because you have those paper sections. So a few days ago, I commissioned, talked to our designer and commissioned that she creates also sort of like electronic pamphlets. So they will contain the same information, they will describe the project, but they will be like one column on the page. So this way, the document can not only be printed and read on paper, but also can be sent by email, opened on the computer screen and read on the computer screen. So this way it will be much easier if you would like to share it in an email. And so if people want to print it, they can still print it, but at the same time, they can only read it on the computer or on the phone. So that will be hopefully more convenient. I also have created a template for the letter email that can go out to the schools, for example, or just parents. And then also another template for individual, basically participants. So one goes to schools, one goes to parents. And also I sent you the stationery also in that folder there. And so this way, like the letterhead, and you can put that letter on the letterhead. So if you wanted to send some by paper or on paper by mail, we have that as well. So what we don't have yet, as I said, I would like to have those one column pamphlets, like electronic pamphlets. So hopefully they will be ready, if not today, then tomorrow. And then other than that, I guess we have pretty much everything. Oh, there is one more thing that I'm trying to develop now is the Xculture handbook. So the idea is that it would be the electronic pamphlet is a small, like a one-page document that just provides basic information. But the other document will be a much bigger one, like 20, 30 pages, that explains how the project works in much detail. So the idea there is that if people get interested based on the initial introduction, they maybe look at the pamphlet, it looks interesting, okay, they are interested, but they will probably have many questions. And so that handbook, a more detailed document, will explain in great detail how the thing works, how the teams are formed, what performance indicators we track, what happens after the project is over, how much time it needs, all those detailed questions that people may need to be, may need to answer before they decide to fully commit to the project. Or after they sign up, they still might want to, have questions. And so that's what we're working on here on my end. And another thing that I'm trying to do now is also try to advertise online. So we have created some ads, some samples online. And so I'm trying to see if it would be possible to advertise it online and see what happens. So one of the big advantages that online ads offer, you can cover a large number of potential participants. So it's a little costly, but for a few $100s, you can reach many thousands of people. In fact, for a few $100s, you can reach tens of thousands of people. And then you can select the right demographics, age and interests and locations and all that stuff. And so the hope is that even if it's a small number of people who will eventually respond to those ads, if you send it out, let's say, to 1 million people, which is not that expensive, so it's still going to be a relatively small price. Even if only 1 or 2% of them respond, it can be a large number of participants. And so we're going to see how it works and how many people we will end up with. In fact, if you send out an ad to 1 million people, even 1% will do it like 10,000 people, right? So that's a fairly large number. So we'll see how it goes and how much it will cost. The price is different for different locations, different demographics, but we will have to see and try that as well. And my plan is to try it this week, maybe next week, the latest. So that's where we stand. Peter, Kofi, Arthur, I see you also joined us. If you hear us, if you can talk, maybe you can do a quick introduction so we know who you are. Peter, can you hear us? For some reason, I don't see the sound, but anyway, so that's where we stand. Those of you who can hear me, any questions about that progress so far? I guess it's only Kofi Ajay here, right? Any? All right, well, then a question, and I guess Kofi Ajay is the only one who's talking, so let's see if we have any suggestions. So moving forward, we have a wonderful Ghana team. So we have, I believe, 8 people. All of you were so good that even though I would have preferred to have only 1 person, maybe 2, but I literally couldn't say no because you did so well in the project when you participated as students. I met some of you at the conferences, and then in meetings like this one, very strong people. I just literally couldn't say no. Now we have this problem that how do we know who does what? So we have the weekly surveys, and in those surveys you tell me, if you've had any meetings and stuff. And then in the application form, there is a question that asks, how did you learn about the project? And it asks you, asks the applicants to tell if they attended a meeting with you, or if they perhaps saw the information that you distributed, or they simply spoke with you. And so hopefully that will allow us to identify most of the people by whom they were referred to the project. So it seems like so far most of them literally give me the name. They say, okay, I've spoken to that person and he referred me to the project. And so my hope is that that will account for the vast majority of the signups. And then even if somebody will not provide a name, then as long as they tell us from this city, from this country, we will be able to at least narrow it down to your whole team. But I wonder if there is a better way to manage it. And so we can maybe just keep it as it is for now and, take it, see how it goes. And if we will have someone who signs up that we cannot identify, but we see this person is from Ghana, I can literally send a name to you and ask, have you spoken to this person? And then hopefully that will clear up, the confusion. Lastly, if you meet with anyone, if you keep records of, for example, I met with this school, or I met with this person, or maybe I, send information to this teacher or to this principal. So as long as you have your own table with the records where you've been, again, hopefully we can match them with those who apply. And my hope is that that will allow us to identify at least 90% of the referrers, and probably more like 95. If we still have someone left in that pool, let's say we have 100 people who signed up and we cannot identify 5, I suppose at that stage we'll just give it to everyone, or divide it evenly among everyone if we cannot decide who exactly is responsible for that. So I'm sure we'll be able to figure out a way. But the question I have for you, do you think there is a better way to do it? Maybe you have an idea for how to manage it. Kofi, for some reason, your sound stalled. Yes, please go ahead.
Yeah, sometimes you go in a group.
You go as a
group.
group.
When you go as a group, maybe in a group of 5 or 6, to be a bit difficult for them to.
So in that case, Kofi, would it be a good idea if we have someone who applied and doesn't tell us who exactly he or she spoke to? If I simply send those names to you as a group and you tell me who exactly should it be like a group payment and you will divide it evenly, or you will tell me, oh, no, that was Kofi's referral, so just it goes into his account. Would that work? Or not very well?
Because I think for now,
I keep losing the sound.
Hello?
Yes. Now it's good. Go ahead.
Yeah, okay. I said for now we can work as a group, maybe
Right.
for the first month, and then afterwards we can decide the best way to go about it. No.
Right. Yes, and so far, that's a very good comment. For now, also, it's not like we have a few hundred people who signed up and we don't know who they are. So for now, it's been very slow. So maybe let's give it another week or two after the holidays, see how it goes, and then maybe have another meeting and decide together what's the best way to move forward, right? Yeah, your picture keeps freezing, so I'm not sure how much you hear. I suspect the sound is not going very well either. Arthur, do you guys hear us? Can you maybe say a few words? It seems like we have lost them. Well, let's do the following. So since the sound and the connection is so poor, let's stop the meeting now. I will make this recording available to everyone as a recorded video. If you want to maybe watch it, download the video and watch it later, so this way you will know that the quality of the picture is much better. And perhaps maybe send me your comments by email. From introduction to thoughts about how to manage it better for the future, and then any other questions, concerns that you may have. And maybe we will rely a little bit more on email. You can even copy the whole team, so this way it will be like a conversation in the whole group. And so I think this way it will work a little bit better, because it seems like with the video, I see most people didn't join, so I suspect that's probably connections problems. And then those who joined, only Kofi Jacob could speak, so obviously there is a connection for the other two, connection issue for the other two. So let's stop it here, and then send me your comments by email, and I will share the video recording in a few minutes with the entire group. Let's do it that way, okay? All right, Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. So we're only 2 days away from the New Year, so may 2018 be nice and prosperous and happy for you, and may you have a lot of interesting ideas and the energy to implement them. That is the most important. All right, let's stop here.